Good morning. You listen to FloorDaily.net, and I'm Kemp Harr. This morning, my guest is Chad Ogden, the president of QFloors Software. Chad, how you doing?
Doing well. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, it's great to talk to you. I wasn't able to personally attend your users conference that was held last week at the gate of Zion National Park, so I thought we'd do a quick interview and you tell us a couple of the highlights. First, though, just for background, QFloors is a business management software specifically designed for flooring dealers. You and your brother were third-generation flooring retailers, and you had a tech background, and you left the flooring business and then came back and wrote this software. Just for our listeners' benefit, tell us the difference between your software solution and the others in the market.
I think from the feedback that we get all the time, there's two main things that people always tell us. One is the ease of use and the ease of training and being able to get into it compared to other experiences people have had. Even like with QuickBooks, right? People tell us that this is by far an easier solution to get up and going and to implement. We do it pretty quickly for people, even though it's a full ERP business system. And the second thing is our customer support. I mean, I can't tell you the kinds of reviews and ratings that we get about it. Those seem to be the two biggest things that people always comment on. If you go onto our Google reviews, those are the things that are most frequently mentioned.
All right, so you had this meeting in Springdale, Utah. It was a 3-day meeting. So it had been a year and a half since you'd met before, and you'd attracted, about 100 people, is that right?
Yeah, over 100 people in attendance. I think the last night there we had 130. To the dinner, we brought some of our employees in from up north, and we had it was a big crowd. It was the biggest conference we've ever hosted.
Talk about the highlights of the meeting, what you accomplished.
It was a 3-day conference. First day, there was just an introduction, and then we had a day of dealer interaction, right, where we had some dealers give presentations on things that they do specific to their company to try to give other people ideas on things they could implement. And then we had kind of like a question and answer between the dealers where they had the opportunity to ask other dealers that were in the room, how do you do this? How do you do that? And people were able to respond. So it was very interactive between our dealers, very networking heavy, so that they got to meet one another and so over the next couple of days, they could continue that interaction, right, throughout the conference. Second day, we did specific courses taught by our staff on specific QFloors topics like commercial. That's one thing that we're really heavy on now. We're doing a lot more commercial work for bid work commercial, warehousing, financials, how to read for financials. Those were kind of the courses that some of them that were taught. And then on the third day, we had a wrap up and any last questions. We really introduced a new feature, Installer View, which is basically a browser-based installer view, a technology that is specifically designed for installers to view their upcoming jobs that they're working on.
Like many of the softwares that are out there, aren't you moving toward a cloud-based situation so people can access the software from any PC?
Yeah, we have our current cloud called QCloud that works with QFloors, but we are rewriting the software completely. We started all over from scratch to create a solution that would run natively in a browser designed for a browser. So it's a complete redo of our current QFloors solution. It's called QPro, and we're getting close to having that released with all the accounting and stuff in it. We showed everybody and announced that also.
All right. Did you get to spend some days in the park while you were there?
Absolutely. So most of the mornings were taken up by events within the hotel, the resort that we were staying at. And then the afternoons, we kind of turned everybody loose to go do whatever they want and explore wherever they wanted within the park. They loved it. They loved the combination of both. So that's kind of how we did it.
Okay. All right, Chad. Well, I appreciate you spending time with us and telling us about your meeting. You've been talking to Chad Ogden, the president of QFloors Software, and you've been listening to Kemp Harr and FloorDaily.net.